Uh, this essay is about it's about Ginger, a mystery lady, and me. Um, it'll take you 5 minutes to read the essay, and at the end of reading it, you'll say, "Yeah, that's a kind of cute story." It's more than cute to me, um, and it is. I mean, it is. How to express it? It is kind of essential for me to realize the dreams that I have. Um, I've done the dance with death twice, and I know something that most people in the world don't know. Um, there are about 7 billion people on the face of the earth, and most all of those people, from the age of probably 5 to the end of their lives, everybody in this world knows that they are not immortal. They know it here. But unless they have done the dance, they don't know it in their guts. And therein lies the thing that makes me different today than it did a decade ago before I started doing those 2 dances. One was a subdural hematoma, traumatic brain injury, and the other was metastasized cancer of my prostate. Both of those dances, I've been successful. I've gone through the dances. The only thing that's wrong with falling off a ladder was that it messed up my hearing, and I'm cancer free for 6 years. So those two dances with death were successful for me. And while I would not want to go through either one of those dances again, I would not delete either one of those dances because it's changed my life in the most positive way. I am more driven, I'm more into life than I was back in the 60s during the civil rights movement. I have a reason for being. And one of the benefits of Dancing with Death is that it awakens you to the reality of the finiteness of life, and more to the point that you better do something before it's too late, because there'll be some day that you don't have another day to live. And there are a handful of things that I think are critically important for me to do before I die. And I've written about this first one, which is the single most important thing that, if I achieve, will be the most important thing I will have ever done in my entire life. And that is interviewing Daw Aung San Suu Kyi, who is often called the lady. She has done more for human rights at the cost of physical and emotional hurt than any person that I know in the entire world. That is to be able to sit down with her and interview her about issues that she wants to talk about and things that I like to discuss with her. There is, trust me, there is nothing in this entire world that I will ever want to do more important than that one single event. And I've tried to make contact with her, and I guarantee you, and I have not succeeded yet, but on my deathbed, if I haven't succeeded to sit down with her for me to go back to Burma or Myanmar and interview her, if I failed to do that, if I haven't achieved that goal, it won't be because I haven't tried. And there are some other issues that I want to address in the time remaining for me. Interview the lady, understand more fully the meaning of ginger to me. Ginger is my second Irish setter. My first Irish setter was the beginning of, I acquired the first ginger beginning my work life. And in the twilight of my life, I get the second ginger. And I'm working on understanding that dilemma and that dynamic, and that it haunts me to try to figure out why at 74 I'd go out and get a puppy, a hyperactive puppy that just their tail's always wagging. I also want to interview Barack Obama. I want to interview Clarence Page, who writes for the Chicago Tribune. And it was Clarence Page. I went to the Tribune's website several years ago and wanted to look up something that Clarence Page wrote, and noticed that back then he was prefacing all of his essays or his op-ed columns with a video. Oh, that's a good idea. And you can go back several years and start to see where I started my videos, based upon what Clarence Page has done. But he's also black, and he also grew up in the same time period that I did, and I would like to talk to him about the civil rights movement. And there's one other thing that I'd like to do, is to find somebody who is my age, who I can sit down with and talk about life at the end of life. I have lots of friends who are 20, 30, 40 years or more my juniors, and there's a difference. There's a different Weltanschauung, different worldview that people have when they're at the twilight years than they did when they were raising children, having kids. And one day, a couple months ago, I was out walking Ginger, and having an absolutely delightful time talking to Ginger as we walked. And then we ran into the mystery lady. And this essay is about that encounter. And so, I said, that you're going to think it's a cute story, and it is. It's a cute, true story. But the thing that haunts me is that I would like to sit down with this person and talk to her. But I had some reservations about being that assertive by saying, would you like to have dinner with me? And so I didn't do it. But part of the reason for not doing it was because I have a friend who has helped me with Ginger, has helped me with all sorts of issues. And I said to this person, I have no idea who this mystery lady is. And I told her what had happened. She said, oh, that's them. And so I've talked to her about, approaching this person and just mentioning my name in passing. I didn't want to be too assertive about, like to have dinner with you. And then when I was writing this essay, and I finished it, gave it to my webmaster, and I had to give her my video, I started processing this in my head, and I'm thinking, one of my mentors in my life was Bobby Kennedy. And he paraphrased something that George Bernard Shaw wrote in a play. And the statement that Kennedy paraphrased into was, some men see things as they are and say why. I dream dreams that never were and say why not. And it came crashing down upon me. Camel, get up off your you-know-what and be a man and go out and just talk to this person. You don't need you don't need somebody running interference for you. Unfortunately, this lady went out of town. She just got back, and I haven't seen her yet. But I guarantee you that within several days, I will have made contact with her. So in a way, this long intro to an essay is essentially a backstory. There are less than 5 people prior to this essay being posted that know this story. Less than 5. And of all the people that are going to read this essay and watch this and listen to this video, percentage-wise, 1% of the people might know this mystery woman. So that's the backstory. In a sense, it is a parable for you. Remember what Bobby Kennedy said. Some men see things as they are and say why. I dream dreams that never were and say why not. I mean, you have a choice. We all have a choice to sit back and say, oh. And the clock ticks. You have a choice to live. You have a choice to live now. Live and enjoy the moment. Or you can sit back and just, I wish, and then die. Having danced with death twice, that is a waste of time that I won't be involved in. I won't succeed at everything that I do. And all that I dream about, and all the things I want to do in this world. But it won't be said after I die that he didn't try. And that is applicable to all people. So write this essay off as a cute story, but take the parable and apply it to your life, because it will change your life. Thank you for your time, and take care.